Welcome to this channel. This channel is called Simply Too Technical, a channel devoted to helping people who are just starting out in their development journeys or just want to learn a little bit more about the technical jargon that's going to be thrown at them as they go on to, greener and greener pastures. In this video, we're going to talk about two development methodologies called Agile and Waterfall. And as you can see from the thumbnail, I might have a little bit of a bias towards one of them for some reason, but don't worry, you'll come to understand why. And by the time you were done with this video, you're going to have a very good understanding as to what Agile is, what Waterfall is, and how this plays out in your everyday workplace. So when you finally do get that job that is asking for Agile, or they're saying that they implement Agile methodology, you will not be surprised. And you'll be able to just go with the flow. Get it? Because it's a waterfall. Anyways, let's get started with that waterfall. So we're gonna go over some waterfall now, and you're gonna see exactly why I'm not a very big fan of it. So here it is. This is what waterfall is. This particular methodology is very strict. It is known as process-driven methodology, which means that you must follow the process completely and utterly. It's very, very rigid. So I'm just going to go over this briefly as to what everything means. So first, as with any product, it starts with a need. Typically, this is a boss or someone who has the money. So this person who has the money decides, hey, I need a website that can support cats and cat pictures in it. So as a developer, you have to get the requirements for that. Like, hey, okay, we need a website. It has to have cats, it has to have pages, all that good stuff. So you start acquiring all of that and make sure that you have, all the basic stuff done. So you need to know what the functionality of the website is going to be and how it's going to look like, more or less. Whatever this person is expecting, you have to start deciphering it and then put it into requirements. That's what this step means. And yeah, there's documentation on it. And you'll see why this might be a little bit of an issue. However, for now, let's continue. The next step is system design. You already know everything that they want. They want a page. They want a cat on it. That's my cat, I guess. And now you have to design this page. At this point, you're going to have to be like, oh, okay, so this page needs to be written in HTML, CSS. Maybe the cat picture is going to come from, I don't know, a database somewhere. This is draw.io, so I should be using the actual shapes they got here, but whatever. So that's basically what this whole implementation is for. This entire step is just so that you can design whatever the product is going to be, and you'll have documentation on that. So there's a lot of paperwork going on, there's a lot of planning going on, and you're designing the entire feature in this stage. After that, you're going to go to the design implementation. You take whatever this blueprint is and you start making it come true. You start implementing all that HTML here and everything that you're going to need, all the CSS, all the pictures, all of the SQL, basically everything you're going to just implement it in this step. And once that is done, you go on to the next step. The step known as verification and test. From this point on, once you've passed whatever the test is, once you've done everything that your requirements has said for you to do, and it's been verified by possibly another team like quality assurance, then you know what? No more changes from here on out. You are not allowed to make any more changes to this process. This process must absolutely be followed. So once you get to this step and have passed all your tests, you can no longer go back and do any changes. When that's done, you go into something called deployment. What this means is that whatever that code is, all of the stuff that you've done, now we're going to put it into the environment. We're going to put it into production. That's what it's called, the lingo. Production being where the user is going to actually have access to it and saying that your product is ready. And when you're done with that, there's the maintenance phase. Maintenance basically is just you update, you verify, you debug it. Just anything you have to do after everything is all said and done, and how to maintain your code. So, what is the problem with this? Well, the waterfall methodology does not allow change in the steps. You must always follow the steps. So let's say you get to this point and then this guy's like, man, these cats, I don't really like cats anymore. I want dogs now. I'm a dog guy. So now I want my page to be with dogs. Well, you know what? He's SOL. You cannot have that. You cannot do this change during this entire process because that is not allowed. Waterfall is a very, very rigid methodology. You must go from the beginning to end. So that means that whenever they get to this point, or to this point actually, and they're done with everything, then this guy can ask, hey, now I want this new change. So imagine every time this guy has a request to do some small minimal change, like change the color here and there, they can't because they have to follow the requirements. And that is what this whole methodology is based on. This entire methodology is based on basically the assembly line. You know how a car is made? You start with, the chassis, the wheels, the structure, whatever it is. It's all the same and it all follows the protocol. There is no deviation from it. And that is what this methodology is about. Just rigid process. So, as you can see, this might be a bit of a problem, especially nowadays when change is expected. Change is absolutely needed in your development life cycle because your consumers or your boss person, the money person, the business person, they're gonna ask for new changes as consumers change their minds or as technology changes too. Your competition is always changing and you must do so as well, and this methodology does not allow for that change, which is quite unfortunate. And this is why I'm not a big fan of this methodology. And a lot of places that you will go into will implement the other methodology known as Agile. Now, Agile, I think, is better for this kind of environment where the technology changes and where the demand changes, but it also has its own caveats, which I'm going to get to.
Hello everybody, I'm sorry for the abrupt cut, but unfortunately because of the length of this video is a bit too long, so I have to cut it up a little bit. So we're gonna have 3 parts to this video, and also I want to point out a little mistake I did. The channel is not called Simply Too Technical. That was an old channel name that was murmuring in my mind. What it's supposed to be called is Slightly Too Technical. Oopsie daisy. But don't worry, we're gonna move on. We're gonna get to the part 2 right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed part 1, and hopefully you'll learn something new next time. I will see you in the next video.